Hallo Kinder, es ist Februar, Black History Month. Wir haben gestern über Groundhog Tag gelernt, aber eigentlich über Murmeltiere. Und heute, yes, ich darf auf Englisch lesen und der Grund ist, manche tolle Bücher sind wirklich toll, aber nicht in Deutsch. Die sind schrecklich in Deutsch. So, The ABCs of Black History is a brand new book from the Milwaukee Public Library. It's going to take me a while because it's 26 different pages for the 26 letters of the alphabet. And I'm going to read it in English. It does not make sense in German because of the rhyme and other things. This book is so new that I am the first person who took it out ever. Okay. History is not the past, it is the present. We carry our history with us. We are our history. James Baldwin was a famous African American writer. We need to know our Black history because it is part of our country. And we don't live in Germany, we live here in the United States. So it's good to know the history of our country and not just white people. Especially not in Milwaukee. Let us A is for anthem, a banner of song that wraps us in hope. Let us know we belong. We lift up our voices, lift them and sing. From stages and street corners, let freedom ring. B is for beautiful. I'm talking to you. Your voice, your height, your hair, your hue. B is for brave, for bright and bold, for those who stood up, even when they were told to step back, stand down, remember their place. B is for brotherhood, for believing in grace. Not accepting slavery and bad treatment. C is for community, where we live, laugh, and eat, and for church, where we worship, mourn, sing, and meet. Did you hear Reverend King preach on his dream of civil rights, human rights, and a powerful theme? Milwaukee has a lot of very good black churches where a lot of African Americans go, and it's awesome. Their music is awesome. This preaching is sort of like Dr. Martin Luther King. Go around our community and look. D is for diaspora, pulled from our homes. We were carried away in ships on the foam to Haiti and Cuba, America, Brazil. Our names are different, new, but still. We are connected then, now, forevermore, to that long ago, faraway African shore. Later, I'll read African folktales because a lot of African Americans came, their great-great-great-grandparents came from Africa. And some of you are from Africa. Your parents are. Kids I have in the reading groups. E is for explore, to study a place, like Matthew Henson, the Arctic, Mae Jemison, space. E is for education, for expanding the mind, like Ruby Bridges, Linda Brown, and the Little Rock Nine, the first black children in all white schools. They opened the doors and challenged the rules. Good schools are for white and black and brown kids, not just white kids. F is for food, grown and farmed with our hands, worked and tilled and pulled from the land, from fried fish, ham hocks, warm buttermilk bread, or maybe the sharp taste of mustards instead. F is for folklore by the light of the moon, for family, for freedom, for jumping the broom. These are all African American customs and foods that you can see even here. Go to Pick and Save, buy some mustard greens. Go to a restaurant and eat ham hocks. And listen to the great folk tales. G is for goat. Towards cities we were bound, for the great migration from country to town. From farming the land to factory floors, we carried the blues on our black backs, not much more. They all came to Milwaukee to work in the factories, and those factories are gone, but all the great people are still here. H is for Harlem, those big city streets. We walked and we danced to our own jazzy beat. When Lewis and Bessie and Duke owned the stage, and Langston, Azora, Neil Hurston the page. New York City were a lot of famous African-American singers, dancers, writers, and everyone lived and still live. I is for imagine, invent, innovative, for all of the ways we are so creative. And here's some very famous African Americans that made all of our lives a lot better. J is for Juneteenth. We are finally free! Or so we hoped in this moment of glee. J is for Jovert, when the drummers drum drum. From Trinidad, Grenada, and Haiti they come. Also African Americans who live here and came from those countries. And Juneteenth Day, you can celebrate right here in Milwaukee. K is for kin, our fathers and mothers, our ancestors, elders, our sisters and brothers. K is for Kwanzaa, which honors that band. Ask Hobari Ghani, and we might respond. Many African Americans celebrate Kwanzaa for unity, strength, responsibility, taking care of each other, faith. Learn about Kwanzaa. L is for love. L is for love. L is always, always for love. Love of families is very important for many African Americans. For most. For all. M. Oh, yuck, that phone. Turn it off. M is for march, for lifting our feet, taking the movement, the cause to the street. Black Lives Matter. Every breath, every dream, every thought, each idea, each impossible scheme. The might of our message is easy to hear. The drumbeat of hope is louder than fear. Black Lives Matter. We saw that this summer, and we'll see it a lot. N is for newspaper. We started our own to tell our stories and let it be known. We deserved the front page. We deserved to be seen and to also be featured in slick magazines. Not just white people in those magazines. Now there's all kinds of magazines and newspapers with all different black and brown and white skin colors. O is for organize, for getting together. To sit and in boycott to make our lives better. Thank you, Fred Hampton. Thank you, Diane Nash, for not being afraid of the possible clash with police and people who shouted and teased. Because of you, we can go where we please. Used to be, they'd have these bad signs. We wash white only. Collared, stay out. Whites only. End lunch counter discrimination. Martin Luther King helped, and so did many organized marches. Organized marches. This is a panther, okay? But it's a symbol for something. P is for power. It's part of our core. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it must roar like a panther. Isn't that right, Huey P? Power for people like you and like me. And who do you think has more power than most? The president! Obama was first to that post. But Shirley Chisholm unbossed and unbought, came so much closer than most people thought a black woman could. Just goes to show P is for possible. So go on, child, go. Shirley Chisholm was the first black woman. Q. Q is for queens. Behold and bow down. Shield your eyes from the shine of their crowns. Many black queens all through the years. Toni Morrison, a great writer. Angela Davis, a freedom fighter. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife. Even Nefertiti, way back in the Egyptian Empire. R is for rise, to reach for the top, relentlessly striving, refusing to stop. Like tennis players, ball players, boxers, and gymnasts who fly, sprinters and skaters who zoomed right on by. Old records, old thinking, a sight to behold. They went for the win and grabbed for the gold. Gabby Douglas, a famous gymnast. Serena Williams and her sister. Mamie Biney, a speed skater. Jesse Owens, a speed sprinter. Muhammad Ali, a boxer. Shawnee Davis, I don't know what for, but they were famous athletes. S is for scientists who charted the stars, studied the bees, took care of our hearts. From Benjamin Banneker, Patricia Bath, Katherine Johnson's beautiful math. Many black scientists helped us all. S is for soul, how sweet the sound. From the croon of Sam Cooke to the wail of James Brown, Brother Ray, Sister Thorpe, and Queen Aretha sang, You Better Think. Awesome African American singers. T is for Tuskegee, an all-black school where students learned trades and toiled with tools. This is how we'll rise, said Booker T. But there was another smart man who didn't agree. William Du Bois said, Industry's fine. Industry is fine, but I think you better work on your mind. They had different ideas, but here's what's true. In their own ways, they were thinking of you. You can learn a trade. You can go to college. Anything is possible if you try. U is for United States. The story is tough. The birth of a nation was deadly for us. We the people in the land of the free. No one who was a slave would agree. But, end of slavery. U is for unbroken, unshaken, unbound, like Harriet Tubman, who went underground. Underground Railroad. Took back her freedom and freed hundreds more. Then was a spy in the Great Civil War. Wow, she was courageous. But when the states were united again, the fight for our freedom and lives didn't end. So U is for unfinished, this American tale. With courage and strength, we will prevail. V is for vote. Do you know what that means? The freedom to pick and choose as you please. The freedom to choose who makes the rules, who has the power, who gets the tools to make their lives better. That's why we fight. The freedom to vote is a true civil right. Used to be blacks couldn't vote, African Americans couldn't vote, but now they can. And women can. Vote is your voice. W is for writers, wisdom and words bring to life worlds where our voices are heard. Please write, all of you. If you can't do it in German, forget about it, but do it in English. Rappers and poets and songwriters too, all those who spin from our point of view. There are so many amazing African American authors. Go to the library and get some of their books. X is for Malcolm Malik El-Shabazz, known as Red Malcolm Little Hejaz. By any means necessary, he insisted on change. Starting with X, he reclaimed his name. Another very famous African American. Y is for young, gifted and black. Like Lady Lorraine, she never looked back. She wrote of big dreams in rooms so small, it's hard to believe she dreamt them at all. Lorraine and her work moved Nina Simone so much that Nina made work of her own. Young, gifted, and black, a banner of song that wraps us in hope and lets us know we belong. Even though our skin is not the same as white people's. Z is for zenith, the highest, the peak. The top of that mountain Martin Luther King said we would reach. We won't get there. He won't get there with us. But still we march on, rising, rising like the sun with the dawn. And that is the ABCs of Black history. Get this book at the Butcherai. There was an awful lot in here. I didn't have time to really explain. But this is a book that takes a bold journey through the alphabet of Black history and culture. Go to your Butcherai, your bibliothèque, and get a book like this one and learn about all the awesome Black African Americans.